are kind of a little quiet this morning. I don't know what it is, maybe not enough coffee yet. I've been up since 5, I've had about 7 cups. You have a lot to do. So I'm gonna try it again. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, thank you all for being here. It is an incredible time commitment to come, and it is one that I think is so worth it. And so coming here is going to be, number one, a connection point to each of you. I actually saw one person, I will call out, you'll laugh. They were like, do you remember me? And I'm like, you were at the church I went to in Atlanta. So you never know who you're going to run into, you never know who you're going to bump into, but it's these casual collaborations that truly make a difference. So I'm going to challenge you to start. I want you to look around to the left and to the right, and I want you to find someone that you don't know. And then I want you to go find them. Now, please don't stalk them in the bathrooms. But go find them and be able to say, how are ya? And make a connection to make sure it lasts, because that's going to be what's important in these conferences. And my number one hope for you is that you're invigorated. So I want you to think back to the very moment that you said yes to the job you're in. Now for me, it's a lot easier. That was only about 75 days ago, but who's counting? But as you think about it, the excitement of getting the offer, the excitement of what you could do in the space that you were given, and the excitement of how you could make a difference and create significance. Every day you should make an impact, but it's rare that you get to make a significant difference. In North Carolina, you are the difference to be significant. You are what every single citizen depends on to make the right decision for the state and for every single person that crosses our borders. So you are the ones that are making the difference. You know, I'm keenly aware, by the way, as we get together, that is only through you that the state becomes stronger, that the state is safer, and that we together innovate in such a way that we illuminate all the other 49 states. So even though y'all do these conferences in other places, this is the best. So as we go, we are the difference, and that illuminating light that can be seen and never hidden. So as you think about the day, think about those illumination points, think about the excitement that brought you here, and think about what you can do to make that significant difference. Because not only is everyone in this room dependent on you, everyone in North Carolina is dependent upon you and the decisions you make. You know, I would be remiss if I did not shout out that March is Women's History Month. So for all the women in the room, a big shout. I remember I kicked off the Hadoop Summit back in 2012 in San Jose, California, and I walked out on stage and I looked, and I looked, and I looked, and I was the single female in the room of 3,225 people. And I remember looking, and they were replacing the sign in the bathroom of the women to change it to men, and I went, oh, not in this lifetime. It's the first time I'm not waiting in the line. But I remember the difference that in the strides we have made. I'm also proud to say that North Carolina ranks #1 in the nation for hiring women in the tech sector. We are also ranked #2 for, and I have to read this one, business friendliness. I'm not quite sure what that means. However, when I think of it, it means that we are collaborative, we're innovative, and we're open to ideas to make us the best place to work. We also rank 5th for higher education, research, and for engineering. And together, this room keeps that reputation. Now we're 5th in that category. I am not a girl that likes to be 5th. I want 1. So I'm just putting it out to y'all, and if we're gonna be friendly and on that scale, I don't wanna be number 2 either. I wanna be 1. So as you think about it, how do we keep our ranking up for innovation, for women in tech, for engineering, for continuing to be the beacon all across this great nation, and I would dare say, across the world. When I think of it, we are just at the tip of the iceberg of what we can do in the capability. But we have to think about, we are in a time of rapid change. And we have to be able to keep up. We have to think differently. We have to act differently. We have to walk differently. And we have to be able to look at things from a different perspective. If you're on my staff, you know the one thing I drive crazy to do is I always ask you why. And it's not because sometimes I don't know, it's because I want everybody to rethink how we're doing it. Is it because we've always done it that way? Well, the question is why? Is there a way to do it faster and smarter and easier? Probably. How do we get there? And it's not about the mountain in front of us, it's how do we go through it, go around it, go under it. Heck, we have helicopters, we can go over it. How do we move the mountains that are in our way? And if you find one, pick up the phone and call me, and I'm happy to help you scale it. Because together, we can do it faster. One person, we can go a little ways. Together, we can get it done in half the time. That's what I'm about, and that's what I'm trying to do. So if you think about it, as I took this job, and it was funny, when Governor Stein asked me to come and be in his cabinet, I was like, okay. I had never been in government. I had never been in the public sector. I had never understood everything that you're doing. You have an enormous responsibility and an enormous weight to be able to look every day and figure out, how do we innovate? How do we do with the little that we have? And how do we turn it into 5 times the impact of what you're given? And that's really a challenge. And that's why, as we come, I'm truly, truly excited to partner as we build that safer and stronger North Carolina together. And as we look at how do we do it together, how do we think of closing the digital divide, strengthening cybersecurity? These are just a few of the priorities, and getting broadband to every single corner of the state becomes essential, because connectivity isn't anymore a luxury, it is a staple that everyone should have, because that means we're connected to healthcare, we're connected to education, and we're connected to points around the world. So as you think about it, you are the spark that truly will make the difference across the state. The other thing I would like to say, and I did see I have my fabulous HR team here too. As we look at it, how do we think differently on hiring? Getting internships everywhere across the state, apprenticeships everywhere. Think of early career. Think of that feeling you had. We need that from every single university student that is in all the incredible community colleges and state colleges and private colleges all across our great state, because guess what? We don't want them to leave. We want their money to stay. So in order to get their money to stay, we need to actually entice them to come work with us. They have crazy ideas. We love crazy. So how do we bring them in? How do we make sure that we are giving them that excitement and spark and showing them that the public sector is an incredible place to not only be, but to work and find that excitement. So I'm going to challenge each of you as you go, that I have done with my staff, go visit a college, university, community college, technical college within the next month. So while I'm doing it, I'm putting the challenge out to all of you. I've been to Catawba twice. I have been to Fayetteville Tech. I have been to High Point University. I've been to Campbell University. Heck, I taught a class at Campbell. And so if I can do it, and I did it, by the way, I had no idea when they said be here at 6, that the class went from 6 to 10 p.m. Devil in the details, people. Lesson learned on that one. But as you go through, find an opportunity to connect with people. And that's one that will bring excitement back, because when you get to be with the students and hear what they have to say, you will be blown away at their skill set. And that's what we're trying to do, is bring that incredible skill set. So the other thing, later you're going to hear the power of storytelling. So let me talk about that for a minute and why storytelling is important, because I've got to tell you, I want the room packed for storytelling. When you look at data and analytics, there are numbers on the screen, they're ones and zeros. And when you have to explain the ones and zeros to someone, if you don't have the story as to what that means, you're never going to have the impact of significance you're going to need. Because without being able to tell the story, you're not going to get the funding, you're not going to get anything that you're going to need to do your job. No longer is IT about information technology. Let me say it again. IT is no longer about information technology. It is about telling the story of what that information can do and what technology it rides on. I'm trying to break the equipment. So as you look at it, what can you do in the storytelling? And I tell this to my team. If you can't bring me a business case that's compelling, go find one and bring it back. Because until you can tell me the return on investment for every single citizen, I'm not going to approve it. Because we have to tell the story of why something is important. You have the opportunity to really make an impact, and that's where it is. So that session coming up is going to be one of the most important sessions you're going to sit through, because we need to tell the story in a compelling way that's exciting and makes everyone want to buy into what you're selling. Because in the end, you are selling information technology in such a way that's going to unlock budgets, unlock opportunity, and unlock a way for you to do your job, in fact, even better. So I want to tell you, look, I get goosebumps. That is my most exciting thing as we go. So I can't wait to dive into the rest of the sessions today. And I want to thank you for coming. I want to thank you for your time. I want to know who you meet with. You'll be surprised. I can't get around, I have on tennis shoes. So I will be checking to see who you've met with and who you have made impact with, and how many business cards you have managed to get, or how many LinkedIn connections you've managed to get, or how many QR codes you've managed to scan. See, I can go through all the time. And then, as you look at it, what's going to matter, and what are you going to do about it? Because we can talk all we want, but until you take action on what you've learned, and action on the significant impact you can make, it's just words. So turn those words into action, turn your impact into significance, and turn your day into an amazing, thoughtful 86,400 seconds that makes a difference in somebody else. Because that's where impact meets significance. So have a wonderful day. I'm going to pop in and out of different sessions. I'm going to be here in the afternoon with Terry. We're going to have a lovely fireside chat that I'm sure we're going to have some spicy topics. And so come back for that. Zach, I'm going to turn it back to you. Thank you all again.